What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Friday edition of the Ysn Power Hour. We used to have Ty. There was 5 of us here when we started the show, and now we're down to 5 bodies, 4 squares. So hopefully Ty can make it back. It looked like he was
Yes.
on the road,
Bunch of snow
going
on his
somewhere.
car.
It is absolutely freezing in here. It is so
Billy's got
so
gloves
cold
on.
in here right now. Ron turns the heat off when he comes in because he doesn't want to hear the. I mean, turn your mic on, Quinn,
Yeah,
so you can hear it a little bit, right? The
I have it
background,
all
the
the way
heater.
up too.
So instead of letting the heat run, Ron decides from 12 to 3 he turns the heat off. It dropped 20 degrees in here. When I came in this morning, it was a balmy 70 degrees. It was 50 degrees when we just turned the heat back on. He's going to burst pipes, and I'm going to murder him.
That's all it is.
That's a confession.
Basketball.
So today there's a lot going on today. Naturally in sports, a lot to talk about, a lot to go over, and some controversial topics as well. But the one thing I do want to discuss right off the jump is it is National Underdog Day. So, and I don't know if they're talking about the cartoon here, but my number one question is,
Jamie, that was a cartoon. It was a little dog. He had a cape.
it was an actual cartoon, like they actually had to draw him. It wasn't computer generated like the
Yep.
old days.
They used to be on Saturday mornings. It was really good.
Wow.
So my question to you guys is, who's your favorite underdog? So you can pick one underdog story to be your favorite underdog, and we will start with Jamie Thompson. Go ahead.
Pretty easy one right here. 4th seed Ohio State, the first year of the college football playoff, beating the heck out of Bama, and then obviously laying it down on Oregon to win the national championship.
I don't know if they're. I mean, would you ever consider Ohio State to be a real underdog?
I mean, in our hearts, they really weren't the underdog. But you look across the country, everyone else was definitely not favoring them. I mean, had to go against Bama, perennial powerhouse. So it was a good one.
I can respect that. All right, Quinn, your favorite underdog.
It's going to hurt me to say it, but the 66 Texas Western team that beat my beloved Kentucky Wildcats. They made the movie Glory Road based on it.
Okay, I was like, where is he going with it?
Oh, yeah.
66.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a great story, and I hate saying it because it's against Kentucky, but it's a great story as a basketball guy.
Thought he was going to read a
Or
book
the-
about it and forget the title of it.
Or the Toon Squad, you pick.
The Toon Squad. Nice play. Billy, favorite underdog story.
I'm gonna go just a little home. I'm just gonna go with the Valley, the Youngstown Valley. There's just so many in the area. You look at maybe that Kelly Pavlik was an underdog story coming through. I mean, you look at all the football teams. You look at just our sports, just our local businesses that are underdogs to these mega corporations like Amazon right now. So I'm just gonna pick the Youngstown Valley.
I can respect that. That's a nice play. Billy Mack's a different human being when he walks through the doors at YSN. Like, not angry at all. Completely different complexion.
Not an angry elf, as some people have called me.
Paulie, what do you got?
Mine's easy. I mean, I think everybody should know the one I'm going to pick.
I'm going to guess the baseball. Yep, there it is.
Right there. Here. Right here. Best underdog story. Right there.
It's not enough that you have a ring and you have a tattoo on your leg, but you had to get the poster too.
This came with the rings.
How
They
much
sent-
did you pay Jostens for that poster?
No, the ring company sent a poster to you as well with your order. So
Why
Jim
do you
didn't
have
get
it?
Jim didn't get the poster. I took it. So
Shocker.
yeah. So yeah, I mean that's right there. The 2018 baseball team was the biggest underdog. We went into the tournament with a losing record, win 7 games in a row, and win the only state title in this school's history. So we were underdogs.
Will you take that poster and hang it in Farron's office for me?
No, I'm not going to put it in his office. He'll tear it down. He's just mad because the softball team hasn't won one yet.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. That's a bad look right there.
He's salty.
For me, like, Rudy always is my favorite underdog story. If we're not talking like Rocky is all, but Rocky, if they would have just stayed at 1 and 2, maybe 3, I'd have been cool with it. but like they just kept on going. And like, how many times can you be the underdog? Like, how many times if like it's like Ohio State when I was pointing to Jamie. Ohio State, like you are top 4 in the nation every year. So are you really an underdog? Like you beat up on people all year, and then you become an underdog. I don't buy into that.
If you're the 4th best team in the country, how are you? Yeah, you're not an underdog.
But it's like, who was the team that beat, was it Appalachian State? Appalachian State?
Michigan? Yeah.
Beat Michigan. Like, that's an underdog story because they went in the rest of the year and probably got their ass kicked, everybody they played. But they beat Michigan. So you got like a decade of bragging rights for that.
Boise State beating Oklahoma. That's an underdog story.
Okay, but Ohio State did lose to Virginia Tech at the beginning of the year, and then J.T. Barrett went down, and we had a backup quarterback, too. So you can kind of factor in those, too. It's not like they were really just beating the hell out of everybody.
I get it, because it was a 4 seed beating a 1 seed. I mean, that's an underdog. I mean,
I don't buy the underdog. Like 3 seeds doesn't make you an underdog. That's like the Chargers going in last night and beating the Raiders and being like, oh, the underdog story. Like, I mean, sorry, Paul, didn't mean to put salt in that wound.
That's his underdog. That's not yours. That's his.
But like,
you asked him what his underdog story was.
well, I know, but like, I'm just saying, what constitutes an underdog? You know, Oh man, we got some comments. Holy cow! Hang on a second.
One person, right? Everybody's opinion on an underdog is probably going to be different.
Ty found no, I agree with that. Ty found some Wi-Fi somewhere, so he's got the 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers.
And we were just saying that here, down 3-1, but they had LeBron. That doesn't count.
Hey, Bama was 9-point favorites in that game.
9-point favorites.
I don't know.
It's an underdog,
Miracle on Ice team.
There you go.
Miracle on Ice team. I can go.
like
that's definitely an underdog story.
That's a great one.
Miracle on Ice. 1980 USA. Beto's just copied that one off everybody. I'm pretty sure. Baker Mayfield is an underdog story.
Baker
I think
he is.
that was directed towards one person. Can he bring the attitude home? I'm sure.
Be nice, Billy. It's the holiday season.
1993 West Branch football team. No one said YSN is their favorite underdog. Company guys, eh?
I said Youngstown, the Valley, small businesses.
Hey, we show up to work, EB. LA Chargers beating the Raiders. This is my favorite, the SCLSU Mud Dogs.
That's a good one.
The Bourbon Bowl champs. Who else we got?
Bowl.
Stephen F. Austin versus Duke last year at home. I mean,
Don't say it, Jamie. I know that look. Don't say it. Don't go there.
It's fine.
Do it.
come on, James.
Paul, you're
It's Friday. He's got the entire weekend to forgive you.
You can go with Evansville, Purple Aces, too.
I hate you so much.
Michael Orr, I love that movie as well. Love that story. Cardiac Kids. My mom's talking about the Browns getting denied. She's out. Paul, she's making your hat, by the way. So
Sweet. Thank you, Mrs. Yoakley.
what do we got? What else do we got here?
Mama Sue. How about Mama Sue?
Mama Yoke.
Mama Yoke? Okay.
Robert Morris over Kentucky. That happened?
Yeah, back when Kentucky was terrible and they were in the what's that second tournament? The NIT?
Yeah.
I don't know. Losers don't belong in that tournament. Kentucky was a loser that year.
I was definitely the underdog behind the wheel in 2018, driving myself and the kids to Columbus.
I don't get that, but whatever.
I don't get it either.
I don't know why you were an underdog there. I mean, she surprised us down there. It was a nice surprise. I'm an underdog.
Maybe there was some bad weather.
It was June.
It was so hot. There was no rain.
know.
There was no anything. It was the perfect weather. I remember it.
Yeah, it was like 90 degrees out there.
So again, happy National Underdog Day. It's also, in case you were wondering, National Ugly Christmas Sweater Day, which I still don't own one. After I think it started in 2011, and 9 years later, I still don't have one. It's also National Answer the Telephone like Buddy the Elf Day. Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color? And one that is near and dear to my heart, National Twin Day. So happy National Twin Days to my girls and my my cousins are also twins as well. So happy National Twin Day to all the twins out there, and all the parents. For God love them. God love parents of twins, because I can barely get from our house to Target.
Okay, I get her point. Yeah, we've been to my dad's house in Pittsburgh. I promise you 200 times. She couldn't get there to save her life right now. She is terrible with directions.
Even with GPS?
It's tricky. So, yeah, I guess, she was an underdog that she got from Youngstown to Columbus and to the stadium in one piece and didn't miss the game. I guess so, yeah.
It's like a straight shot, though.
Like,
you can pretty much close your eyes and just drive.
Yeah. Well,
Come on, Carrie. I mean, if that's the only knock on your wife,
yeah,
that's awesome.
I was very surprised she got down to HQ.
That's true. It is. East Palestine's a tricky place to maneuver.
Yeah.
A lot of one way. And Coach Seidel says we need YSN ugly Christmas sweater.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool. The
I saw
YSN
one,
logo and then like ugly.
I saw one that you can actually make it into a hoodie, and it's like sublimated. And I thought about it. That was almost your Christmas presents this year. But we're working on something else.
I tell you what would be neat if we did something like that, but have like images of our people. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say Betos' face just right in the middle of it.
Well, we're working on something that is very Betos-esque. I'll tell you that. You've heard of the Elf on a Shelf, but let me tell you about
Betos at a bar.
Jeff on a ledge. All right, we have some business to tend to. These national days just keep getting longer and longer because we just BS. This was by popular demand. Talking about this today, guys. Last night, a game, Highland and Indian Valley. Highland 101-8. We've talked about the running up the score. We've talked about both sides of it, and now we're living it in the Corona day of we're just happy to be on the court. Question being now, is this the right thing to do? Is this poor sportsmanship, or is this just, listen, when you lace them up, you know what you're running into. So why should another team that's well prepared have to slow down for a team that's not? And I'm going to incorporate something I learned last night during a swim meet, nonetheless. My second swim meet ever, my first ever broadcast, personally, that I wasn't supposed to be broadcasting, of a swim meet last night that I learned last night. But I want to get your guys' take first and obviously pull the crowd here that continues to pile up here on the Ysn Power Hour. Guys, 101-8 final score, Highland Indian Valley. Was it too much? Paul?
Yeah. Yes, it was. I see Quinn shaking his head, and he's a basketball coach. I'm not a basketball coach. I'm a baseball coach. But at a certain time, you've got to kind of – I'm not saying you got to, like, miss shots, but at the same time, you can cross over the midcourt line and hold the ball a little bit.
Wait.
If you're –
Do you hear that?
Mop, mop, mop. All day long. Mop, mop, mop while he sings this song.
There we go. Continue.
But no, I mean, like, at halftime, you obviously know you've got this game in hand. Put your starters out there for maybe another minute or two. Get your other kids in there. And if they're doing the same thing to that team, I mean, just for crying out loud, I would just get across the midcourt line and stand there. If they're going to foul you, they're going to foul you. They've scored 8 points. Obviously, you know, if you're not pressing, you're not doing anything like that, obviously they can't score either. You're just playing 5-on-5 defense. But to sit there to score 101 points, I mean, was it a girls' game, boys' game? What was it? Do we know? Girls' game.
The girls' game.
Okay. I mean, and not to downplay it, but you're not going to get girls get upset and try to foul people. If that's a boys' game, you're going to probably have a fight on your hands because kids are going to probably just drill somebody. Like you're driving to the hoop, they're just going to take you out because
Paul's obviously never coached girls because
they're worse than boys.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It looks bad. I think it's a bad look. I mean, but that's my opinion. So.
All right. I know one guy on the other side of the fence. Quincy, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this is straight up from a coaching standpoint, in my opinion, and my job is to get my team prepared. And if I'm the Highland guy, I did it. I did my job. I'm not going to tell my kids to stop to make you feel better. I don't care. And it's nothing against Indian Valley. I mean, Highland's done it to numerous teams over the past decade. I mean, they've laid it on everybody, and it's just what it is. I did my job. My guys are prepared, and my bench guys were prepared too. They came in, they did their job. It's one of those things, like as Billy's pointing out, like last year, Highland ended up losing to a really good team. The next game they played, they won by 74, and that was against a team that was 21-1 on the year. Like, it's just Highland's a very well-run program, and they're not going to stop to make you feel better.
Thoughts?
I mean, I don't know if it's about making a team feel better, but I think the optics aren't good. Like, I mean, you put one team, you score 101 points on a team, they only score 8. They feel bad about themselves. Do you feel good about yourself? Do you sit there and go, yeah, we kicked their ass by
Not everybody gets a trophy, Paul.
90? I'm not saying you got to get a trophy, but what does it do for you? Does it make your program? Does it make you look better that you scored 101
What's
points?
your standard? Yeah, that's what you coach. You coach to a standard. I mean, you coach to a standard, and that's what it is. Whether you win by 6, that's the standard, or you win by 74.
All right, Billy, come from one baseball coach to another. You're up by 15 runs on a team. Are you still stealing bases?
That's not. That would be
That's
equivalent to like
entirely
running
different
a
thing.
press. That would be
Yeah.
equivalent to running a press.
Hey,
I know that they don't press. I know when they go up big, they don't press. They stop. They're not going to stop running their stuff.
I don't tell our guys to not swing and hit the ball.
No, I'm not saying to do that either. I mean, you still go out there and you swing.
That would
but
be the same.
our
It wouldn't
guys
be like,
feel
hey,
like
let's
Yeah.
not take an open layup shot. Let's not like that. To me, that's more disrespectful when you're not trying to take a layup. That's wide open.
Yeah.
Like,
If
why
you
would,
got a guy on second base and your batter hits one in the gap, are you going to hold him at third? Are you going to tell him to go ahead and score?
Why should I tell my guys to slow down or to not score even though I'm up by 70? Like, I get it. It doesn't look good, but like, you as the other coach, your job is to prepare your kids and stop the other team. If they can't stop them, that's not my problem.
I also you're talking about baseball. I don't want to make a mockery of the game. Like I don't.
What is 101 to 8 doing? What is that
It's not.
doing?
It's
making
not.
a mockery of the
You don't
game.
want to make a mockery of teaching kids not. Hey, so we're up by a lot. Let's just hold the ball at half court. Like now, it's just what are we doing? We're not even playing basketball at this point. Like the same thing with baseball. Like you don't want to score runs. You just hold every single runner at third base. I mean,
Let's pause this for
Yeah,
a
that
second.
was
Why
the other thing.
BMAC says Highland didn't want to take the varsity. Indian Valley insisted on them bringing the varsity team.
Yeah,
Then
I
what?
heard that as well. I heard Highland wanted to play their JV team, and Indian Valley said they wanted to play varsity.
And honestly, I mean, to even like, I agree with what Max says. And even if I was like, and this is all personal things, but if I'm losing, and you're kicking my ass, say on the court, or you're kicking our team's ass, I feel like I'd be disrespected more if you're like, oh no, now we're gonna go easy on you. I'd rather 100%. I want you bringing your best, and I'm bringing my best, because that's what I'm expecting when I go on the court, onto the field, whatever. I'm expecting your best, and you're expecting my best 100% of the time. And if you're better and you're that much better, then so be it. But I'm one of those. I don't want you ever going easy on me for anything, and I don't expect the same thing out of me. It should always be 100%.
Let me
To
ask you.
answer
Let me ask.
Chris's, oh, go
well,
ahead.
Let me
I
ask
was
you
gonna
this:
say, answer Chris's comment there. They didn't have a choice. It was a conference game. They had to play that game.
So let me ask you this: from a standpoint of winning and losing, yes, does it look bad? Absolutely. However, the one thing that nobody's bringing up is they didn't give up, right? They didn't give up. They didn't forfeit. They didn't throw in the towel. They finished the game, as far as I know. So when you look at that, there's lessons learned all over the place, right? 101 to 8 sounds like they had 13, 14 players. Did Highland? They played them all. There's nothing you can do. You can lower the bar as much as you want. You can put your players that maybe don't get as much time in, but when they're scoring and their layups, and I didn't watch the game. I didn't look at the box score. But this was literally 11 messages were sent to us. Hey, you guys need to talk about this. You guys need to talk about this. So from that standpoint, is there anything in Indian Valley, right? I want to say Indian.
Yes, Indian Valley.
Indian Valley. Is there anything there's no such thing as moral victories in sports that I go by, but is there anything in not giving up in this game and saying, listen, we never stopped? Because sometimes, guys, as we try to say all the time, sports equals life, life equals sports. Life sometimes is going to knock you down, and it's not going to let you back up. So for them to keep coming at them, I mean, is there something of value in this for the losing team?
I think for me, if I'm coaching, is sometimes, like related to life, sometimes you're going to get punched in the mouth like they did, and there's going to be another game behind us, so you got to get ready and rock and roll. It's kind of like the on to the next thing, because in life we face different challenges every day and new ones every day. So, just because, what happened today or tomorrow shouldn't affect the next day. And that's how they should take that forward.
And they're still putting stuff on tape, right? Even defensively, if another team puts up 101 points, there's still stuff that you can find about yourself, a little bit of your game to work on.
So probably about 4 or 5 years ago, I didn't lose 101-8, but I lost 102-18. So according to Paul's standard, that other team should have given up and just quit, or whatever it is. And the coach even said, hey, do you just want to call the game? I said, no, because you are doing these kids a disservice, because there will be points in time in life where shit's just going to get heavy. It's going to get real. There's going to be a time where there's going to be a greater good. Now, for me personally, I always have that memory of 102-18. Granted, we were completely outmatched, much like Indian Valley. But what did I do to fail my team at that point? And what could I have done better? And what I think it really teaches is these kids are a lot more resilient than you will ever believe. And it's not the kids who are going to take this with them. The kids it's probably long gone. They're sitting there making TikToks, Instagram posts. They're having fun. I told you guys in a group chat, this is going to bother the parents, the people who can voice it from far away on Twitter and everything else more than it's actually going to affect these kids. Like, Berlin Highland is a buzzsaw. Anyone in girls basketball knows that. But rightfully so. They do it the right way. They hold each other accountable. They work their tails off. And they have a standard of excellence. It's been that way for 25 years. They're a program where everyone wants to be at. You cannot fault the standard for excellence for being excellent. Now, the takeaway from it for Indian Valley is, I always tell my players that there's a saying Coach K said, next play, next game, and great players have short memories. So what are you going to do now? You can sit here and say, well, we only scored 8 points. Well, why'd you score 8 points? Like you said, you can take away from film. Now, what you're going to take away from what Berlin does to you is going to be different than the next person. But there's a lot of lessons everywhere through it. Like, you can sit here and say, well, you should have ran an offense for 5 minutes, 50 passes, pass up on layups. Who cares, dude? That stuff's bogus. Like, if you're good, you're good. Do your thing. It's my job to stop it. It's your job to score.
I mean, you're laying it out there, and that's coach. That's not coach speak. That's just straight punch to the mouth. Does anybody have a likeness or a like thought or even an opposing thought? Jamie, you've been quiet on this one.
I just feel like basketball is a completely different animal. Both of these guys have kind of touched on it. You can't just go station to station and swing at literally everything. Football, you can just try and chew the clock out by taking the play clock all the way down and then running the football instead of just airing it out. Basketball is basketball, man. You got to go out there. You got to score. You got to play defense. You can't really just lay down and just give up. They went through the whole lineup, like you said. They were playing bench people. They're doing everything that they're supposed to be doing. There's really nothing you can do from that point. I don't want to see someone dribble across half court and just hold the ball, because then you're not helping the other team either, because they're there to play a game. So they're still going to get experience, whether they're losing by 90 or just 9.
I mean, the only thing I can think of, honestly, is like some of those guys, like this might be their only varsity experience for right now, up until now. How are you going to tell them don't go play basketball? Like some of them, like those bottom of the bench guys, like 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever, this is their first time getting on the floor. And yeah, it's a bad game. It's a blowout, whatever. how are you going to tell them, no, don't go score in what might be your first varsity appearance?
You don't. I mean, I'm of the opinion that if you're playing varsity sports, you get what you get. You know, it's like my wife says to the girls, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Listen, if you're a varsity team of any level and you get blown out, there's not a whole lot you can do, right? You can't ask them to take the foot off the pedal, because then what are you asking for? You're asking for JV ball. And if you're not going to play their JVs and you want their varsity, then you wanted this, right? This is part of you either wanted this or thought that there was going to be an upset. So which one was it? That's my question.
I mean, if you're looking at it from like the David Goliath aspect, like David went in knowing that he was going to give Goliath everything that he took. Downside of that, if Goliath would have connected, there's no more David. So if you're willing to step to the game or up to the plate or, you know, on the court, whichever metaphor you want to use, and you know, it's not like Berlin Highland came in and surprised people this year. Everyone knows who they are. So
1994 was the last time they didn't make the Final Four, Quinn? 96.
They didn't make the state title or the state playoffs. 15 straight Final Four appearances or something like that.
So, like you know who they are. It's not like they came in and they shocked the world. Like I said, dude, they're the standard. They're a efficient, well-oiled machine as far as I've ever seen, and what they do. And Quinn, you can back me up, and we could probably make a couple calls. Like, dude, they do it the right way. As far as I know, they're all homegrown. You've ever been to where Berlin Highland's at? It ain't much to look at, and it makes South Range look pretty popular or populated. So I mean, dude, they are what they are. If you're coming in thinking you might shock the world from an Indian Valley standpoint, hey, kudos to you. Great to have that mindset, but you got knocked down now. It's not what just happened should be the next question. It should be, what do we do now? Should be their question. Like, hey, okay, that's the standard. Maybe next time we play them, if we get 28 points, that's a victory. Then you build off of it. That's how you start to build a program. It's small steps. It's not going to happen overnight.
Is this just cooler talk? You know, is this something that we make more of a deal of it than it really is to the actual teams?
Of course.
I think so.
Yeah, of course. I mean, because we're all outsiders. We weren't on the floor. We see a score and we're like, oh, well, that's a bad score. But like, I mean, to the ones in the program, I mean, I'm sure Coach Slaybaugh is sitting there saying we could have done more. We could have done something better. We could have executed better. There's always little things to work on. And Indian Valley has the same mindset, I'm sure.
EB, you said you got beat by a similar margin a couple of years ago. What did you do? What was the feeling in the locker room? And take me through the mindset of what Indian Valley's going through right now.
I mean, it's
Give me a
easier
second.
Michael! Mom, the meatloaf! The meatloaf!
It was
Go ahead,
different
put him.
because
We're gonna
AAU.
put Mikey on mute. Well, no, let's put him on full blast.
Michael!
It's different because it's AAU. So, I mean, that naturally teaches you to have a short memory. But I think any kid will tell you when you get beat by 70-something points, 80-something points, like there's no good feelings. But you don't get a choice to sit there and lick your wounds. It's on to the next one. And I think sometimes that's a good thing that AAU does, is it doesn't let you sulk over a defeat like that. And same thing if you're Indian Valley, like it's over and done with. What's done is done. You can't change the score. You can sit there and look and use it as lessons of what you can get better at. But like I said in our group chat, this is more for the people on Twitter, social media, this and that, for them to sit there and be keyboard warriors than Berlin Highland or Indian Valley even cares.
Paul?
Or us. We're talking about it, and then, I mean, we don't go to either one of those places. So.
Well,
That's our job.
Yeah, it is our job to talk about it. But when somebody, I mean, this was the most requested topic we've ever had on this show in the 7 months that we've been on the air. So when somebody messages you 11 times, and this is separate people messaging 11 times, Brandon McPherson being one of them. you're going to talk about it because you give the people what they want. So you said sports, this is different in every sport. We saw East Palestine, Columbiana a couple of years. Was it last? No, it wasn't last year. It was year prior, 2019. What is it, 82-0, right? So what does it have to be in sports, and does it matter? Is it the same concept? We've talked about basketball.
I don't know.
What do you mean? Like,
so
football?
like yeah, so you talked about stealing bases. You don't want to disgrace the game. If you're up 15 runs, you're not stealing home on a pass ball. You're staying on third base.
Mhm.
In football, you're running up the middle, I would assume. You're not throwing after a certain point. But also, if someone says, if you know that you have 12 guys on your roster and you're going to lose no matter what, and you might lose by 80, do you still line them up? Is there still some, and I'm not talking about bragging, right? A little bit of self-respect. I'm not going to back down to anybody. I mean, I've come out and I said, listen, I might lose 1,000-0, but I'm never going to quit. I'm never going to stop. And I think this was a situation last night and continues. We talk about the losses, but we don't talk about, again, I hate saying this word, moral victories, because everybody hates it. It's like a cringy word. But there are certain things where you take moral victories from losses. I mean, if we didn't, it would suck to lose. But everybody likes to lose in some aspect because they learn more from their losses than they do their victories. So this being said, do you feel that it's different in every sport? Is there one sport that you can get completely blown out in and nobody says boo about it like they do in basketball?
Probably soccer or something. Probably one of those like lesser known sports. You can probably get away with it, I guess. I don't know.
I don't think there really is any sport, because no matter what, when you get to a certain scoring margin, people are going to start saying stuff. Like, I had to broadcast the Hubbard versus Jefferson soccer game, and Hubbard won 14-0. It's not like they were just actively just trying to just lay it on Jefferson. They weren't playing any defense and had wide open goals. Obviously, you're going to take a shot. It's the same thing when you bust one up in the middle. Even when you're playing football, if you're running it up the middle, if nobody's tackling you, you're not just going to not try and break a tackle. Just go down easily and stop at the 1 yard line. You're going to go freaking score unless it's the end of the game, and you have to stop.
Coach Seidel saying 70-6, 120 left, throwing fade routes and calling timeout to kick a field goal. Happened in 2014, and I will never forgive it.
Yeah, no, that's Bush.
Yeah, you don't need to do that.
That's Bush League. That's just you just trying to score a ton of points on somebody just to do it.
So something I learned last night, baseball isn't too bad because you can play every day, says Jason Ray. It's not like you have a week to think about it, you were on to the next one. I can get behind that. Basketball's kind of the same way, especially in this compressed scheduling that we have. But I learned something last night during the swim meet and diving competition that Canfield had that I kind of dug, and I didn't like it in track, but the mentality behind it I really enjoy. Is when you're watching races, right? They're not necessarily racing against the guy or gal in the next lane. They're racing against themselves in the time, right? So they're not, like, if they lap somebody in the pool, they don't care. In fact, someone got lapped last night, and it pushed the leader because it had been so long since they saw somebody next to their lane that it pushed them to finish stronger. My thing is when you're playing sports, coaches talk about it all the time. It doesn't matter who's in the other uniform. We're playing our game. If we're going to win, we have to play our game. We hear it all the time. So my thing is when somebody goes in and wins by almost 100, you're playing against yourself. You're running the plays that the coach is asking you to run. So are you playing that other team? Coaches talk about it all the time. But when there's opportunity to actually carry it through, does the team carry it through? And I think last night was a perfect example of, listen, it doesn't matter who's on the other side of the court. The 5 bodies that are there are not going to be able to stop the 5 bodies that are on, wearing this color jersey, our color uniform. So for me, I took it. I was really impressed with the swimmers, especially the 500. That's 20 lengths of the pool. Because it takes so much endurance, and you're literally playing yourself. You're battling yourself, your own mental capabilities. So I think that there can be something learned from in different sports from that, and I think this was just an example of it. So, Jason Ray chiming in again. Years ago, Highland won a girls' sectional game, 96-3. 3 free throws? Is that?
Yeah, they won that big with 3 free throws.
Whew.
So that's
If
the
I'm not
3
mistaken,
points. The 3
I
points.
think it was a foul on a 3-point shot.
They got to go, fellas. I'll catch up with you later.
See you, buddy.
Thank you.
I mean, this is such a delicate topic, I guess, in my
It's
mind.
not.
In my head, it is. I mean, because, like, I'm thinking about it like it's a conference game. Like, what do you want them to do? Just roll over and not play them?
It was game over to me, and I'm just going to cut it with a knife. It was game over to me when they said, we'll bring our JVs, you can play them. And they said, no, bring a varsity. All right, gloves are off.
Yeah, what do you want them to do? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you would do in that situation.
But as a basketball coach yourself, Quinn, when you win 101-8, we keep talking about, well, you get something from it, the other team, they know. What do you, as the winning coach, what do you take away from that?
All right, so I've been on both sides. I mean, granted, now it's AAU, so like it's tougher to correlate that to high school. But like, I mean, even in blowouts like that, you still want to execute your stuff. You want to see how you play your stuff. And I mean, you kind of just throw out the score at that point and just kind of work on what you have to work on. And I mean, if you could tie it into anything, I mean, even like in baseball, Paul, if you're up by that much and your pitcher's out there throwing balls, like you still want to work on command and stuff, right?
Yeah, or you get somebody else in there. I mean, you start getting an outfielder, anybody who can at least.
They still got to get their work in, though, right?
It's reps. I mean, let's be honest. When you're playing a game, you don't get game reps in practice. No matter how you want to try and make it set up, you just don't get those reps.
But doesn't that pretty much become practice after a while?
It does.
After you're up by 50 and 60 and 70 and 80.
It can. Either way, I mean, you're either down 70 or up 70. It's still game reps. You're not playing yourself and you're playing somebody else, and you got the pride and all that stuff. Still, you still want to work on stuff.
The precedence to me was set a long time ago when they started beating teams by unbelievable margins.
Yeah, I mean, they've been winning games by 70 for past decade.
Like, as an opposing coach, when you see Highland on your schedule, you're thinking, okay, this game could get out of hand pretty quickly. We've got to keep it in control early if we're going to do it. When it gets out of control, what are you doing?
Here's the thing. They've won 25 straight IVC championships. So everybody in the conference knows they are. It's like the standard of the conference. It was like that conference from the west side of Ohio in football. Like they have a high standard of games.
Where are they at?
Why did Indian Valley just win the ball?
They're in the IVC. They're Millersburg is where Berlin Highland is, down south. It's
they might play South Range.
West of Newcomerstown. They're in the same district as region as South Range for girls.
Okay.
With Columbus Afrocentric.
Ruh-roh, Paul.
Or the potential super district.
Just start saying first down over the loudspeaker really loud. Yeah. That's another South Range first down.
It's
how many state titles have they won? I mean, they do this much. Are they like the 8-time defending state champion or something?
They're damn good. Yeah, they're either always there or in the Final Four. Yeah.
I mean, who's beating them if they're doing this to teams?
Columbus Afrocentric has beaten them.
The Cavaliers.
Last year they lost to Winston-Salem Christian Academy or something like that out of North Carolina in the Classic in the Country.
Lisa Leslie flew in one day with her team.
The Minnesota Lynx.
I mean, it's one of the things like Berlin Highland. Like a lot of us basketball guys kind of know, like they're the standard. They're what you want to be. They've been built as a program for 25 years now. I think Coach Schlabach's been down there, and it's one of those things. Like it's the gold standard. You want to reach that level eventually.
Listen, here's that. Now I'm irked. The Amish community.
Coach Seidel is spot on. It is an Amish country.
Paul, you know this better than most. You and I sit here in the old man seats, and if you've ever played slow pitch softball against an Amish community, you realize that there is no mercy.
Nope.
No mercy. Because they want to take us out for all the little jokes that McNuggies and Quinn, and I'm guaranteeing Billy Mack. Well, you look Amish right now. So
they're all hopped up on
my brother is down there.
They beat our ass relentlessly, in slow pitch softball because of you jerks. Mac, guarantee you
They're
were
all
you were
hopped up
throwing
on Mountain
people.
Dew, ready to put up a barn.
Yeah, and they,
I was trying to recruit them when I was in Bristol. I'm smack dab right in the middle on the country. I was like, hey, come on out. We love to have you.
Yeah, it is straight Amish country out there. I mean, I have nothing but respect for him. I tip my cap to Coach Slave on what he does. Even their boys program is incredible.
so this isn't going to come out right. Do they even have the scoreboard on because of the electricity?
Absolutely.
Like, do they even believe in the scoreboards?
It's a beautiful scoreboard.
No.
It's a video board and everything. It's nice. It's really nice.
I joke. I kid for that. McNuggies, the only thing we've heard from you so far is, give me a
Wow.
minute.
How was the meatloaf?
It was
have a
give,
take
it was
on
give me
this?
a second.
Give me. All
How,
right.
how was the meatloaf?
Oh, it was just the milk.
I got your milk. Michael, come get your milk and cookies.
Come get the milk.
All right. We're gonna try to turn the page here with that.
I gotta stop.
Is that commercial break time? Is that how that works?
No, we're well past the commercial break. We got to get to these other spots. That's the nice thing about having the bar at the bottom of the screen. So it's like 1 hour long commercial for them, or half hour commercial for them. So what I want to do right now is I want to shine a light, and I know we talked about this a little bit in the group chat. Larry Nance Jr. of the Cleveland Cavaliers is doing something I think is really special, and is doing something that a lot of people really didn't think of, and is helping small businesses. So Larry Nance Jr., number 22 for the Cleveland Cavaliers, is taking, if you send him a hat or a shirt or whatever, he's that. Paul, you need to stop sending text messages straight up. So if I can't get my head back after that text, stop sending texts, Paul. Larry Nance Jr. is allowing people to send in, small businesses to send in a shirt or a hat or any kind of gear, and he's going to wear it, right? He's going to take a picture on his Instagram, promote the business on his social media platforms, and then he's going to raffle off his jersey that night. And 100% of the profits or proceeds that go to that jersey, he is going to match and send back to that small business. This is how it's done, professional level. This is how you help small businesses, and it's an athlete who we oftentimes give a lot of trouble to stepping up and doing the unthinkable in the time of need for small businesses. I got to be honest, I'm one of the ones that send them. So fingers crossed that Mr. Nance wears the YSN gear. We've got him a hat, we got him a Big Dogs of the Valley shirt, and we got him a wristband.
Maybe he wears it when he comes on the show.
Dude, how freaking awesome would that be? Because listen,
Legendary.
Billy Mack's got the hat on. It's the hat's unbelievable. It's so nice, and it's got fleece underneath it. So comfortable.
You're like Vanna White right now.
That's exactly what I thought of. Vanna really white powder. So
Get one while they still last.
that's it. We got a box of them, and once they're gone, they're gone. So make sure $30 you can come down to HQ and buy one and support a local business that maybe you watch every day. So make sure you check that out. But I just wanted to shout out Larry Nance. I mean, this is a cool thing, right, guys? I like to think if you were in a position, or if I were in a position like he is, that I would think or do something like this for small businesses. So hopefully this helps out. I know Ty's a big Cavs guy, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely, and it makes me, it makes me proud that when we have guys like that are supporting the community too. And I think it's something that a lot of these players don't do enough of anymore, and it's something I like to see, and it really warms your heart seeing some of these players help out their communities that they represent too. And I think what Larry Nance Jr. is doing is a fantastic thing, and I mean, just to help out those small businesses in any way, shape, or form, because we know there's a lot of them out there that are struggling to get by right now. So just to get that notice, put him on notice like that, and to donate any proceeds that he's gonna get from those jerseys and everything. I think that's a really cool thing
obviously
just to help out
everybody
in
knows
any
the
way you
struggles
can.
that small businesses are going through, and you know, I don't want to say that we're not hurting, you know, because we're small business and all small businesses can always want to do better, but you feel for the restaurants, you know what I mean? So if that's why if he doesn't pick our hat, it's not the end of the world. Like I would rather he utilize you know, his platform for really good, you know, for restaurants that aren't able to make ends meet. Or are not able to pay the rent, because the last thing we want to see here in America is small businesses, which is the heartbeat of America, go down. So, yes, Mom, I did send him a shirt and a hat and a wristband. And Coach Seidel, I gave him a hat the other day. He says he loves the hat, wears his every day. So that is high praise from Coach Seidel. So if you want a YSN hat, it's New Era. So we are living large. Yep, there's Billy Mack. Let's hang on. Go ahead, Billy. Style it up. There you go. The New Era hat, brought to you by your sports network. I mean, from your standpoint, guys, would you want to see athletes do more of this? And what other ideas would you have if you were in their position to help small businesses? Anything come to mind?
Why do I go right now? You want me to go?
That's usually the cue. You haven't said anything.
Does this work? Hello?
I was supposed to say something, and then we got caught off guard because my mom called me earlier in the show. There's nothing that really comes to mind, but, you know, you love when athletes do stuff like this, and huge shout-out to Larry Nance. The only thing I could think of from a small business standpoint is, you know, actually visit these businesses in local areas, you know, as he's doing, give them social media shout outs and actually shop at these businesses. But I'm sure Larry Nance is going to do something like that, if he hasn't already, something very similar once the whole shutdown 2.0 ends.
Yeah. Anybody else before we move on to our final topic?
I have players that are off to college and they wear some of my stuff. They tag it in social media. And it's pretty cool. It's a sense of pride. It's like a double-edged, not a double-edged sword. It's so unique and cool when these players can kind of give back in a way that, hey, this is where I worked out my swing. This is where, you know, and for small businesses, it would go a long way if you had a T-shirt and posted it on social media. It's a sense of pride for them.
And Billy, because we believe in giving back, what is your business and how can people reach you?
Oh, Max Baseball Academy. And you can get a hold of me at Max Baseball Academy on Facebook and or on Instagram.
There you go. That's what we call a plug in the business.
Yeah.
Or a rub or whatever.
I've actually, just since we're on this, I have received from doing advertising through YSN, received more people that I would never came across.
Wait, you're saying our advertising works on our games?
I'm saying it kills. So do it. It's true though. I mean, I've gotten a small any portion in this time of world right now that we live in is a good thing. So it pays for it. It's not super expensive to use it. I've used it and I'm on the show all the time and I could plug it every day if I really felt like it. And there's nothing DJ could do, but I don't. And I paid for it. And it works. And it's
there's one thing we could do. We could keep you off the show and lock the door so you don't get in. But you keep us on our toes, because the first thing I was like, who is coming in here? And it's Billy Mack, just throwing us off our game.
And you know what? Just to close this out too. I mean, I already mentioned it earlier, but I really do. I love and appreciate the fact when these professional athletes, even though they might not be born from those cities, when they play for these cities, especially these high profile ones, and they're representative of their cities, and some of them are making the millions of dollars. The ones that give back to those cities and those communities. I mean, the one that came off the head right when you asked if DJ was JJ Watt after that big hurricane in Houston, and how much he gave back to the community and everything. And it's like those are the players that the community will really draw to. Then you want a player to be a fan favorite, a leader, just someone that a community will really latch onto. give back to the community, especially when some people are making that high profile money. I mean, they don't even ask for you to give all their salary, but I mean, just be involved with the community and do what you can. And I mean, I think everyone recognized J.J. Watt after that and everything he did after that hurricane. And it was a really huge story too around the NFL
J.J.
and
Watt
around
is,
just
I mean, the
news
Watts
in general.
are an unbelievable family. They get it, right? Sometimes athletes get it. The Watts get it. T.J. Watt is following in the footsteps. I don't even know where the hell Derek Watt is. I mean, I've seen him like 3 times.
Awesome. TJ's a bum.
You're in my dojo now, SA. Just you remember that. There's only one way out. That's right through here. Right through this little area.
Right there.
But your car's up here.
I mean, why does Larry Nance Jr. have to be the only athlete that's doing this? Why doesn't the whole organization get behind him, like just the entire Cleveland organization and all the NBA organizations, the NFL?
You know what? If LeBron was there, I bet he would
too. What, Mac?
I bet if because LeBron is like this, he does. LeBron gives back so much to communities. We've seen that over years, and if LeBron was still with Cleveland, I would definitely see something like this happening where Larry Nance started it and then LeBron picked it up.
I like it though. I mean, what's really cool about Larry Nance doing it, he's not this multi-million-dollar athlete. Like he's not the most prominent basketball player in the game. He's kind of a lower, like a mid-bench guy.
We're trying to get him to wear the hat, Ty. You're not helping our cause.
No, I get it. No, I mean he's still an integral part, but I mean he's not like he's not one of these guys that are making the $20 million, $30 million a year contract. So I think it's even cooler for the fact that for the level of what he's getting paid with the organization, the fact that he's even doing something like this and really representing the community, I think that's even cooler because it's not like he's making.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that, but it's also.
You better find a celebrity, Ty, because we just lost the only chance we had at one. Thanks a lot.
Ty, you're grounded.
You're in quarantine with Billy Mack. All right, I am going to bring this topic up, and we are only going to spend a short time on it because I know we are home for some reason to a Notre Dame show every Wednesday, I think, at 2:00. So I'm going to bring this up, I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to have a smile on my face the entire time because I've been saying it. As soon as adversity strikes this one particular team, we're going to have trouble. Notre Dame making excuses already, coming out and saying that if they are in the college football playoffs, quote, I'm not sure we'll play in them if the parents can't be there, says their head coach, Brian Kelly. Is Brian Kelly already hedging his bets for Notre Dame not making the college football playoffs? Quinn, go right ahead.
Worry about getting there first. You got to beat Clemson. You barely beat Clemson without Trevor Lawrence. Now you're going to get probably 60 hung on you. Worry about getting there first. Then once you get there, worry about dealing with Alabama or Ohio State or maybe even Clemson again, who will definitely beat you again. So just worry about getting there. And then once you get there, be happy you're there because it won't last long.
That is a Michael Page. I think I read that just like Billy Mack says it. Say it.
Notre Dame stinks, and they do though. That's I mean, they barely beat. They have Clemson has probably the best player in college football at a position that it's underrated in my opinion. The quarterback position is that important. So, and he's the best player at that position. Yeah, it's an underrated position because the quarterback position is that important. Yes.
Stevie G with a great analysis right here. Dumb move, not the time to say.
I'm pretty sure the last time they got into the playoffs, they didn't really show up either. So maybe this will be the second time.
Well, here's the thing is you haven't been blessed or fortunate enough to make the playoffs. It's not the time to say, well, we might not even go if we make it.
Okay. Texas A&M will say, yep, we'll go. Thank you.
Bye-bye. See you, Notre Dame.
Carolina.
McNuggies, go ahead.
Wait a minute. Did they really just say that right now? Like, we in? Does that mean we're in?
McNuggies, what's your take on it?
Nah, I think Brian Kelly's trying to get out of another ass whooping by Alabama because he knows he's losing this week to Clemson, so they're going to fall to the 4, and that's at the very least. So he's going to have to face Alabama. and he knows that he is going to get sent right back to South Bend on an ass whooping by Alabama, whether it be in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena or at the Sugar Bowl. He's going to get killed. And the only way I can see him not having parents at the game, though, is if they do go to the Rose Bowl. And the only way he's going to the Rose Bowl is if Notre Dame is the 2 seed, because of how the committee does placements with where the games go for the semifinals.
Jamie.
So I tweeted about 2 weeks ago some Notre Dame slander because I heard ESPN, they were basically locking them in, which is complete bullshit already. So I basically said once they get the hell beat out of them by Clemson, because Lawrence is going to be back, they shouldn't be allowed in. I had a Notre Dame podcast quote tweet my thing and was saying that I didn't watch the game and that I was upset because I didn't get accepted into the university and all this just random stuff they're throwing out at me. And apparently to their logic as well, DJ Ungalele is basically equivalent to Trevor Lawrence, who is the future first round or number 1 overall pick. So I hate Notre Dame. I hate all Notre Dame fans. I hate the entire university. It sucks, and I cannot absolutely wait for Trevor Lawrence to beat the living hell out of him. Because I commented on their thing. I said, please come back here at halftime when Trevor Lawrence is already up by 35. Please come back and shut the hell up.
I'm gonna need that Twitter handler name.
Oh, I got you.
Oh, here we go.
Yes, we need that.
Listen, you don't come at YSN people and not get Billy's wrath. That doesn't go. But Stevie G, look at Stevie G down here, still looking for Teo's girlfriend. I am a Notre Dame fan. I know what's coming. Yikes!
Get Billy Mack on that podcast so he can get under their skin like he gets under everybody else's skin. Just have him go in and just ramble on some dumb shit for.
Look at this one: Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and Iowa State.
Telling you right now, we either need Cincinnati or Coastal Carolina at number 4.
Bad idea.
I don't know if Iowa State gets in. 2 losses, they're not getting in.
The only reason I want Cincinnati to get in is so they can play Ohio State and Poe can shut the hell up about this best team. I know they don't have a chance. I know, but I'm tired of hearing about how Cincinnati's better than Ohio State, and you guys know how I feel about Ohio State. Well, I'm so tired of this.
It's because it came from Poe. If it didn't come from Poe, nobody would listen to it. Well, nobody listens to him anyway, so it's okay.
Oh, that's true. You dirty dog. All right, Paul, you have the floor.
I just think so. If I heard correct, he's saying that if they go to the college football playoff, if they can't have parents, he doesn't want in.
Correct.
Yep. He can say that all he wants. But when the university says, shut your mouth and take the team because we want the money coming from that game, shut up and take the team. We don't care if the parents can go. He's just out there. He's just trying to get some kind of attention.
You ready for this?
Team right now.
I'm going to help you out with this. Here was the follow-up quote. Why would we play if you can't have families at the game? If you can't have families at bowl games, why would you go to a game where your families can't be part of it? What's the sense in playing a game in an area of the country where nobody can be a part of it? What have we been doing this entire year?
Exactly. And again, we all talk about why are they playing these games? Because of money. Money generates the sport.
Here's why.
Notre Dame is not going to turn down $10 million to go play in the college football.
It's going to be more than that.
Yeah, why he's saying that is because Notre Dame has had over 25% capacity at every single one of their games. You saw the field storm when they beat Clemson. That's why he's saying that.
How about this one?
They have not had to go into an environment with completely empty stadiums, and now he's already hedging his bets that they're going to Pasadena and going to have to do the same thing.
Is that just a Notre Dame fan thing, or
yes.
like what? They just hedge their bets. Like I talk about this all the time with people who know. Don't hedge your bets. Like if you're going to put money on it, or if you're going to put your some type of value on it, stop hedging them. Here's another quote to which, if you read between the lines, this dude is completely hedging his bets. Maybe the CFP need to spend a little less time on who the top 4 teams are and figure out how to get parents into these games, because it's an absolute shame and a sham if parents can't be watching their kids play. They can watch them
it's
on television.
It's a nationally televised game.
There's going to be a mega cast.
You're not playing
5
North
different
Dakota
channels are going
Central
to have this
State.
game.
Shut up. You're not playing North Dakota Central State, and it's not going to be televised. You're playing in the top 4 in the country. Your parents can watch it from the comfort of their own home. Brian Kelly, shut the hell up.
Hey, one thing I'll say is with the playoff committee, I don't know why the playoff committee just didn't change this coming in. They have those 4 pristine bowls that they play in Fiesta Bowl. You have the Sugar Bowl,
Rose Bowl.
There's a Rose Bowl, and one of the semifinals games was a Rose Bowl. Why not just move one of those games to another location? And instead of just saying, because they've known for a long time now that California is shut down, right? It's just no fans anywhere in California. It's been at least a month since I remember the 49ers not playing. So why not move one of those games to a different bowl? Why not go to the Orange Bowl instead of going to, which is, they consider that a semifinal game too in the past, and then just rotate them next year? Hey, well, Rose Bowl will get theirs next year, instead of just saying, you have those certain alternates. So I think this could all be avoided with the playoff committee, or whoever's controlling that schedule could change that just as easy. Hey, we're not doing
I agree.
Money. It's money.
Well,
They have
here's
contracts.
the thing. It sounds like Dabo Sweeney's on board too. He said it's going to be a poor decision and a mistake to keep playoff venues where parents and families can't attend. So
Dabo.
So maybe they're pushing that into a direction where, like, hey, instead we can't go to California, right? I mean,
bring it to down.
You breached that contract, though. Now all of a sudden the Rose Bowl is going to say,
yeah, but we all know
pay us
about
some money.
contracts. Contracts can be renegotiated at any time, especially when you're talking about this type of money.
they're gonna have to pay them, though. They're not going to say we're not coming this year, and even though you're not allowed to have fans, we're still all that sponsor money that they're going to get for promoting that game. You're gonna owe them some money right now if you say we're not coming to California.
And the Rose Bowl knows that they're going to have the better of the 2 semifinal games because
The Rose Bowl
Alabama's
will
playing in
still
the
have
other one.
the Rose Bowl will still have a Rose Bowl game there. It's just you just move it.
It's not part of the playoff.
Yeah.
it's not part of the playoffs. So is it? I mean, but they paid a lot of money to be in that Final Four, right?
Yep.
So that again, it comes down. Paul's absolutely right in my opinion. It all comes down to the bottom dollar, and somebody's going to have to pay the Rose Bowl kind of a refund policy on their investment, because whoever's year it is for the national championship or for that game, and if they don't have it there, man, tough skating. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up our show today, the regular portion of it. We are going to get to our I think it's my favorite part of the show outside of Trivia Tuesday. It is the Filet of the Day and What's Your Beef, brought to you by G. Burbick Farms. Visit them in Columbiana on New Buffalo Road, or on the web at gburbickfarms.com. And since he is here in the flesh, Billy Mack, go right ahead.
My beef is I'm trying to spin this in a way that doesn't get me into trouble. My beef is to just know who supports you, and understand that, and I'm not going to go any more detail than that. But my filet is Eminem dropped a surprise album last night at midnight, so I've been jamming out all day. There's a few artists for me that if we drop an album, I gotta go listen to it, check it out. And he dropped a new one, Music to Be Murdered By Side B, last night at midnight. So go check it out.
Quinn, go ahead.
My beef. I didn't really have a beef coming in today. I guess my beef could be with Poe, because that's a reoccurring beef. It still stinks back here. Billy can attest to that. It's cold as hell, which is a contradiction, but it's cold because he refuses to keep the heat on. And he's a Notre Dame fan, and I don't like Notre Dame fans because they're irritating and annoying. So I guess I'm going to go with Poe for the beef. And the filet, I don't know. I'll go with Billy because he joined me back here today. So I was no longer alone. I had a friend today. And I support Billy. So there you go.
Max Baseball Academy.
Yeah, absolutely. But
Ty Bartell from the car.
My beef is my laptop with all the stuff I had not backed up. I just decided to shit the bed last night. Hard drive's gone, so I lost everything. So yeah, I found out about this morning when my uncle, who's a computer guy, checked it out. So I'm pretty pissed off about that. So yeah, that's my beef. My filet. I mean, I'm in town. Got a nice game tonight. Excited for Pitch versus Ursuline. So
I got a
Yeah.
new play too.
That's
The
my
Oakland
play.
Raiders. Paul. Darren Waller, 30 fantasy points. Oh, Vegas.
Excuse me, it's Las Vegas.
30 points, Paul. 30.
I think that's going to be his beef, if I had to guess.
That should be someone with dignity, like I do with
McNuggies.
Jamie.
About 100. I'm going to put up over 300 points on Paul.
That would be interesting. My fillet is going to be the fact that I got a 100 on my English finals, so I'm pretty hyped about that. I got two beefs. One is with whatever kind of illness I have. It's not COVID. I'm pretty sure about that. So I think it's probably the flu because I threw up a couple of times during the week. But my second beef is going to be with Anthony Lynn for putting in Callum Balaj instead of Austin Eckler at the 1 yard line. Not once, but twice. I hate him so much because Eckler only got 12 fantasy points last night, and that's probably going to screw me. So,
Nice. James, go ahead.
Yeah, so going back to Darren Waller, I'm in the semifinals in a $25 league, and Waller put up 30 against me, so that really pissed me off last night. My other one, I guess I can go back to Notre Dame. They haven't won a meaningful bowl game since 1994 when they beat A&M in the Cotton Bowl. Besides that, they have sucked, and they play teams that suck all year long, like that team up north in USC, and then you can even throw in Florida State every once in a while. Sorry, Paul, they're not good anymore. They play these bum teams, and they act like they're good because, we schedule all these non-conference opponents. Because you don't have a conference. You don't play in a good conference. You play in the ACC. You face a backup quarterback. Watch what happens when you play him this weekend. Cannot freaking wait. My filet, I guess to go back a couple days ago, made some gingerbread houses with my girlfriend. That was fun. Ran a poll. I got 75% of the votes. So, I just laid the smackdown on her, man. My gingerbread house was that freaking good, but I got 75% of the votes. They almost had to stop the count because it got too high.
That a boy. See, that's the 101 to 8 score we're talking about. All right, Paulie, filet, beef, give it to us.
Yeah, my filet is yesterday when we got home before the basketball game, the girls wanted to make a snowman. So they were like excited about the snow. So we went out and we built a snowman in the yard, and they love the wintertime. They love the snow, and it's the holidays, and it was nice. He was a little janky, but hey, who cares? He was a snowman. He had buttons and eyes and hair and arms, and he was fun. So,
He had hair?
Yeah, they got some tree branches that had from a pine tree, and he had little. They gave him hair. He didn't have a hat, so we gave him some hair.
Did you name it Jeff?
So no, we didn't give him a name. So he just was out there in the yard. And when I got up this morning, he was kind of on the lean because he starting to melt a little bit. But yeah, that was a high. I mean, you can't take those kind of things for granted. So it was a nice high yesterday. Man, I tell you what, I kind of don't want to have a beef today, but since Jagoff down there wanted to bring it up, him and his stacked bullshit team, is probably going to – he probably is. He scored 170 points, and he's only had one guy scored a bunch of points last night. He was giving me shit all night during the game, and I was just like –
Hey, you almost won.
He's like, hey.
The Raiders almost won.
He goes, if your team wins, it won't be that bad. Did they win? No, they didn't win. And then I get this dick putting 30 points on me. Him and his stacked team at 9-4 is going to kick everybody's ass, unfortunately. Ty's going to lose.
Hey,
Jamie's going to lose.
I'm going to throw it.
Hey, Drew Brees comes back this week, so it's another 40-point game for Alvin Kamara.
I can't wait.
And then, of course, what do you think happens in the first quarter? Derek Carr goes down. He's my quarterback. 2 points. Whatever.
Oh,
Carr goes down, touchdown Waller. Loved it.
Oh, man.
Whatever. Kiss my ass.
I had mixed feelings about Waller because I've had him in 3 leagues, went against him in 2.
Fantasy Karma. Paul Munson.
I didn't get all those lovely trades and steal people's.
I've heard
rubbed it in my face week 1.
There are legends of your collusion from years gone by. So I was very apprehensive about you coming into the fantasy football league, and the fantasy football gods have favored Quinn, obviously.
Yeah, when he goes and steals everybody's players.
You try to take my guys.
I traded.
Okay,
just because I have more friends than you doesn't mean you got to bully me.
You came to my town, and I said, no, sir. You move right
took
along.
You took Tristan to the woodshed and gave him a bunch of scrubs and stole every one of his good guys.
I made him a
listen,
secret
have I-
under the
have I
table
had
deal, and I
outside
held that
help with
deal
my
up.
leagues? Absolutely, I have. I won't deny
What'd
that.
you give him?
I've had somebody help me out, make my lineup. Who cares? But I
Traded
wasn't
him
out
like
there stealing
Devontae Freeman or something like that.
Jag off.
Hey, to be honest, at the time of the trade, Devontae Freeman was going to get a pretty heavy
Yeah.
workload,
He gave him a
had
12-pack
he had
or
value.
I
Or
gave him
a-
Devontae Freeman,
a
and I
box
think
of trash bags to work out in.
Yeah,
he needed the
exactly.
trash cans. I filled it. I filled his needs, and he gave me mine.
Okay,
now I
yeah,
win.
you gave him a bunch of trash bags, like DJ said.
Hey,
Hey,
Michael, since
hey.
you're the fantasy expert, should I start Michael Thomas this week against Paul? I don't really need the help.
No, he's out. Max Thomas is out this week.
Yeah, I
Quinn,
I
you
would
need
say
anybody?
No anyway, because
No,
Alvin
I'm
Kamara's
thinking
not
about
gonna
just
get a lot.
benching everybody else so I could still win and not really care.
No.
Where's
No.
Mac? What? Mac, what are you doing?
Would it hurt you more, Paul, if I bench everybody next week?
That's terrible.
He
If you
joined
what?
on his phone.
I might bench everybody next week and let Jamie win.
I'm not even going to make it. Ty's going to beat me.
Ty's gonna win.
Am I in the playoffs?
Ty
No,
Tuck
there's
team's
only
not
4
gonna be
people in the
good.
playoffs.
No, DJ, you and I are going against each other because we're the last 2 teams in the league.
I don't know if I've scored a point in the last
Hey, how can I
10
help one of
weeks.
you two? I got basically everybody that's good in fantasy.
I'm gonna get to my beef before we go too far. We're already $1.13 in. My beef is man, it's gonna be tough because I've been in a pretty good mood all day, which is rare. My beef is I don't have a game tonight. Everybody's got a game, which let's do a rundown real quick while we're on it. We've got Struthers in East Liverpool. That's going to be a big game. Alec has Boorman and Mooney. Ty has Fitch and Ursuline. Columbian and Wellsville. Eric's doing. Michael has West Branch and Marlington. We've got Springfield and Sebring. Jamie's doing that one. Derek's doing Valley Christian versus Latonia. Lisbon got canceled tonight. And Western Reserve and Jackson Milton. Jason and Ian are doing, which Jason alluded to earlier. I'm bumming because I don't have a game, but I filled myself in early tomorrow for the East Liverpool United game. So that's my only beef. The fillet I have is what a nice surprise. Honest, I know I joke about it, but what a nice surprise to have Billy Mack in studio today. Always good having our guys here close to home.
Nice to have more people on the show.
Well, I miss the Friday nights, right? When everybody's here, the parking lot's absolutely full. I miss the Friday nights of everybody kind of being around. So when people come in, it's kind of like, when all the kids leave the nest, you're just like, oh man, this sucks. So I'm going through a little empty nest syndrome right now. So it's always good when the guys come through. So appreciate it. And that's gonna do it for our show. Anything else for? Oh wait, before we do. I was sent a picture, and I want to make sure I get this on. Where is it? There it is. Look at this. There's Coach Seidel with the hat on, clashing like a Titan. Love it.
Look at his jacket's personalized.
Oh yeah, dude, it's dope for sure. I was giving him all kinds of props on all his
Or is
gear.
that a vest?
No, that's a jacket.
Wow.
Good looking jacket. So. Thanks to Coach Seidel. Thanks to Steve Gilmartin for buying a YSN hat, supporting us here at Your Sports Network. Thanks to, of course, Billy Mack for doing the same. And if you would like a hat, we got plenty of them here. And we will be opening up our brand new digital online sideline store for YSN right after the new year. So we're excited for that. But that's going to do it for us for today. Tune in on Monday. It's Christmas week, guys. Only 3 shows next week. And we'll talk a lot of things Santa, including, and you can think about this now, your secret Santa gift for any local student athlete. So what would you give any local student athlete if you can give them anything? You don't actually have to give them that, but you can give them anything in the world. It's their present from Santa Claus. All right, that's going to do it for us. We'll see you next time on the YSN Power Hour. So long, everybody.